Plants play a vital role on Earth. They are beautiful to look at. They eliminate air pollutants. They boost moods. They produce 98% of atmospheric oxygen. They produce the food we eat. They are used in making drugs. And fossilized plants are used to provide energy in the form of fossil fuels such as oil and coal. Given the importance of plants in every aspect of our lives, it is critical to our own survival as humans to understand plants and plant processes. A plant is a living organism. Plants vary. For example, you have flowers, trees, and vegetables. To name a few, there are different types of flowers from daisies to dandelions to bluebells and buttercups. Similarly, there are also different types of trees such as oak, maple, willow, sycamore, pine, and cherry trees, and also there are different types of vegetables. Certain conditions such as water, light, temperature, soil, nutrients, space, and favorable pH conditions are necessary for plants to grow. In this video, we will look at two important plant processes: photosynthesis and pollination. Plants are so fascinating to learn about. I'm not a plant scientist, but I enjoy learning different facts about plants from their physiology, morphology, ecology, biochemistry, and their processes. In this video, I would like to go over two important processes: pollination and photosynthesis. I will first explain pollination. The diagram shows the structure of a plant from the stem to the root, to the leaves, and to the flower. Pollination happens in the flower of the plant and is a part of the sexual reproduction process for flowering plants. Non-flowering plants will not pollinate as part of their reproduction process. A flower contains male and female reproductive parts, as plants have gametes, which contains the chromosomes, which is the DNA molecule with the genetic material for that plant species. The stamen is the male reproductive organ of a flower. The stamen consists of two parts, anther and filament. The male gametes, which are found inside the pollen grains, is produced in the anther part. The pistil is the female reproductive organ of a flower and is composed of stigma, style, and ovary. The ovary contains ovules, and the female gametes are found in the ovals of a flower. In sexual reproduction, a male and a female gamete join together to form a zygote, which is a fertilized egg cell. Pollination is the process that brings these male and female gametes together. It is the part of the sexual reproduction process of flowering plants that results in seeds that will grow into new plants. Pollination is the transfer of pollen from the anther to the stigma of a flower. There are two types of pollination. There are self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination happens when a plant's own pollen fertilizes its own ovules. Self-pollination happens in flowers where the stamen and the pistil mature at the same time and are positioned so that the pollen can land on the flower's stigma. Cross-pollination happens when the wind or animals like insects, birds, butterflies, bats, and other animals that visit flowers will move pollen from male anthers from one plant to fertilize the ovules on the female stigma of a different plant, but this different plant still needs to be a plant of the same species. Wind-pollinated flowers are shaped to make it easy for the wind to pick up or deposit pollen. Flowers also have different shapes, colors, and smells, and other sugary nectar and nutritious pollen that encourages animals to visit and pollinate them. Once on the stigma of a flower, pollens can germinate, which means that you would get a pollen tube that forms on the sticky surface of the stigma and goes down into the oval of the plant. This growth can result in successful fertilization of the flower and the growth of seeds and fruit. Seeds contain the genetic information that can produce a new plant. A plant can also be partially fertilized, in which the fruit and or the seeds do not fully develop, or plants can completely fail to be pollinated and may not reproduce at all. Seeds can only be produced when the pollen is transferred between flowers of the same species. Therefore, fertilization is the next step after pollination has occurred. When pollinators, the animals and the insects, are not very active, for example, if you are growing plants indoors or you want to selectively pollinate different plants for breeding purposes, you will have to transfer the pollen between the flowers using your hand. The second plant process that I have been learning about is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a chemical reaction that takes place inside a plant and produces the food that the plant uses to survive. Therefore, photosynthesis is important for a plant's growth. Carbon dioxide, water, and light are all needed for photosynthesis to take place. Photosynthesis happens in the leaves of a plant. Plants contain chloroplasts, which contain a green substance called chlorophyll. Chlorophyll absorbs the light energy that is needed to make photosynthesis to happen. Plants will also take the carbon dioxide from the air through their stomata on their leaves and take in water through their roots from the soil, and water is transported through tubes from the root to the leaf. Plant uses the stored energy that they have absorbed from light, sunlight, or to convert the carbon dioxide and water into glucose, which is a type of sugar. Plants will also produce oxygen as a byproduct of photosynthesis. Almost all life on Earth depends upon this process, as it is important in maintaining the levels of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. I hope this has been a quick recap for you about plants and their processes. If you've enjoyed watching this video, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.